And we are back with the fourth segment of the GSMC Sports Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this, in this fourth segment, we're going to talk about UCLA's head coach, Mick Cronin, and what he had to say in a post-game interview because I think it's very surprising. The media also thinks it's very surprising. It made several headlines with what he had to say after the loss to the number 4 ranked team in basketball, the Michigan Wolverines. And the final score of this game was 94-76 in favor of the Wolverines, of course. And their coach was not happy. UCLA's coach was not happy with this. And could this have been easily avoided? Could this loss have been avoided? Yes, it could have been avoided because UCLA did end up making the game close, but then they let the game slip away. Now, Tuesday night against the Wolverines, UCLA fell big in the first half and then dug itself into a hole, and they had to try and retake the lead, which they did before getting blown out. So when you're able to retake a lead like that and you still end up getting blown out, that is a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. And this was also at home. So after their home loss, Cronin, he kept it real on the in the post-game interview, and he unleashed some of the harshest criticism I've ever seen from a head coach on their team. Like, this is really crazy what he had to say. So he said, quote, "I'd say a combination, to be fair." He was asked a question whether it was Michigan's unique size and skill or defensive breakdowns that were the main reason why the Bruins ended up giving up 94 points at home. So he said, "I'd say a combination, to be fair to your question. Obviously, they shot the ball well, but we're soft." And when a head coach says that their team is incredibly soft, the way I see it, you may or may not have lost the locker room if you're saying that your team is that soft. And we're too soft to play hard enough, Cronin said. Even in the crucials, you can't get an offensive rebound. It's like a 5-point game, and Kobe Johnson just has a guy take the ball from him. Same thing with Sebastian Mack. Okay, we finally do get a stop, can't get a defensive rebound. They didn't have a million of them because they didn't miss that many shots, but there were a few in particular. Kobe, Sebastian, Hugh, back breaking, and you get inside position. So don't tell me you want to win. Don't tell me that you want to win. And then he continues, to start the game, Tyler gave up 12 points, 2 screens, he didn't say a word. Threes, and then he got dunked on 3 times. So don't tell me you want to win. We're soft. Aside from, to be fair to you, obviously they have a unique skill set, the way they shot the ball, but we're soft. He continued saying that. He continued saying that throughout most of this. And this was and this was only the beginning of what he had to say with this team. And he's won almost 500 games and said he was upset with everybody, including his assistant coaches. He said, the truth of it has been, it's really hard to coach people that are delusional. Yes, he said this in a post-game interview. He said that. He said that his players are completely delusional, which is, I don't think any head coach has ever said that about their own players. And to be fair, this is really good constructive criticism, at least in my opinion. Like, there are going to be people who say that this isn't how you coach a team, but this isn't how you coach a team that's soft. Because teams that aren't soft, they're going to take this criticism and they're going to prove the head coach wrong and completely flip the opinion on what the media and what the coach has to say about them. Like, that is what a good team and that is what a team that isn't soft is going to do. But since he knows that they're soft, saying that this team is soft and exposing them like this might end up proving to be the downfall of the team, and he might have just lost the locker room like this. And Cronin said, the hungry dog gets the bone. We got guys that think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids, but they're completely delusional about who they are, and the team that's mind is on the right stuff. And hungry to get a win in conference play is the team that is probably going to win. Right now, if this wasn't the humble pie they needed, then I don't know. Cronin is who he is, and he's not going to change his ways, obviously. And in the media, if you're if your beat is UCLA, you love how open Cronin is and the content you can get and the content that you can create off of these comments that he has to say. Because again, he's like, how do I compare him to someone in the NFL, really? I mean, probably like the most accurate one is based off of the stories is probably Bill Belichick, because I mean we've seen like Tom Brady and all of the Patriots, they like tell stories about how Belichick coaches and what he has to say, and a lot of the times Belichick is very, very mean. And there's also several other former Patriot players who have said, on that team, you do not have an identity. You are just a player on the rotation, and you are easily interchangeable. Like, it's not like you can have an ego on the Patriots. Like, you work towards a goal, and that goal is winning. And if you're playing bad, you are going to hear it from Bill. And Tom Brady even made a joke about Bill Belichick in recruiting. He said, like, Bill Belichick would probably say something like, all right, are you going to come to North Carolina? Are you going to come or not? We really don't need you, but, like, are you going to? Like, something along those lines. But again, like, whichever side of the debate you're going to fall on, you can probably agree that Cronin does appear to be a bit of a crossroads with this season. And before you say, oh, but didn't he recruit these players? No, he did not recruit these players. It should be noted that the head coach in college doesn't necessarily do most of the recruiting. It's left to the scouts, and it's left to the assistant coaches as well as to who they think would be a great addition to the roster. That is not something that the head coach necessarily does. And that's probably a big reason why he was mad at his assistant coaches for like drafting these not drafting, but recruiting these players that are soft, because it's like you do not want a team that is like that is constructed like that. Modern NBA is hard to watch. So many teams chucking threes all the time. That's how the game works. That's how it's evolved. And to be fair, that is the most efficient shot that you can get on a basketball court, constantly shooting these corner threes and trying to run pick and rolls, allowing you to get an easy shot in the paint. That's just how it works. Teams have gotten more efficient. Teams have been able to defend it a lot better. And people and teams, they've realized that taking an 18-foot shot, which is the same points as taking a layup, is not that impressive and is not going to win you games. Taking three-pointers is what's going to get you to win games. And now, back on UCLA, last year the Bruins went heavy on international players to replenish its roster, and it didn't work. Cronin's run of 12 straight NCAA appearances came to an end. And for this season, NIL efforts were stepped up, and the Bruins hit the transfer portal hard to reshape the lineup. Despite losing 3 of its last 4, they are still in a decent spot at 11-4 overall and 2-2 in the Big Ten. So, how will the players react to Tuesday's presser, and how might it be used against Cronin in recruiting are going to be like the real questions. But the way that I see it, these criticisms are very just. If you are giving up offensive rebounds and you're acting like you're not trying to win these games, then yeah, you're going to get hit with that, you're soft. And that's really also another problem with the NBA. The fact that these players are incredibly soft, and the fact that these players, they flail their body around to try and get to the foul line. Like, you're not going to be able to win in college if you're playing soft and if you're playing like how the coach has described you playing. Now, I did not watch this game, so I have no idea how they were playing. But again, if you are able to cut through a lead and take the lead, if you're down by a lot of points and you're able to cut back and come back to take the lead in a game where you're down by so many points, blowing that lead and making it a blowout game once again is absolutely inexcusable. And if there are players in the locker room that genuinely feel like they are better than what they actually are, I wasn't in the locker room, so I have no idea. But if that's what the coach is saying, then maybe they do need a little bit of a wake-up call in saying that you're not the main character, or you're not that guy. Like, that's sort of what a lot of players might need, especially in today's NBA. Like, God help me. But that's all that I really had in this 4th segment. I just wanted to bring that into conversation, because I thought like those comments, they were surprisingly harsh, at least in today's basketball. Because again, you don't really hear a lot of head coaches say some of these things like that. You usually keep it in the locker room, but he went and told the whole media. So again, that's all that I have to say. So now we're going to go into an NBA recap of yesterday's games because there were a lot of them. So I'll be right back after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.